You're probably wondering, what does a stack of Oreos have to do with this video? I'm Bill Snodgrass. Welcome to episode 99, and to answer that question, you're going to have to stick around. I have literally filmed this video 3 times before this, and every time I have deleted it because I get to this point when I start editing it and I go, God, this is just like a rambling stream of consciousness thing. I intentionally put the cookies in this one, but it still kind of gets a little disconnected as it goes through. I've edited it really hard, so just bear with me. I do get to the point. I do have an idea about what the future is going to look like and the phenomenal changes that are coming because of cloud technology. So with that said, we're going to plow through this and we'll get to the end together. The Oreo cookie was first developed in 1912 by the National Biscuit Company, which later became Nabisco. And over the last 106 years, the Oreo has become just ubiquitous for cookies and snacks. Just as Nabisco has become a household name for all kinds of cooking products. Now, what does that have to do with this video? Flash forward 100 years, 2012. We are in the middle of a revolution, a technology revolution, where iPhones and Galaxies are just becoming the norm. Smartphones of one kind or another are everywhere, and the amount of data that we are dealing with in society, it grows astronomically. We are in contact with people all around the world almost instantaneously through our handheld pocket devices. 2 years ago when I was teaching computer class, I coined the phrase, or at least I think I did, pocket technologies. These technologies that we carry in our pocket and how they're revolutionizing the world. I think we're on the cusp of another revolution. That's what I want to talk about in this video. There are some things that are massive changes that are taking place. So I'm going to predict a little bit of the future. I got on this idea again. I've had this thoughts before, but I got on it again recently when Casey Neistat was talking about director Steven Soderbergh's latest movie, a psychological thriller titled Unsane, was shot entirely on the iPhone. And you can Google this. You can say movie shot on iPhone or Steven Soderbergh or Unsane. They shot the whole movie on iPhone using an app that I use called Filmic Pro. If that is not indicative of a drastic change in the way the world operates, we've gone from having these pocket technologies be conveniences to becoming a main ingredient in our daily transactions of life, a huge connection socially, and now creatively. So where do we go from here? What happens next? Well, I want to go back. I want to flash back to around 1983 or so. My roommates, 2 of my roommates, we were in the living room of our apartment, and we hear another guy coming in, and he's a electrical engineering major. Went on to go to Georgia Tech. Amazing guy. He comes in with a copy of the Wall Street Journal, and he points to an article where the FAA or someone had just approved cellular telephones. And he held that up to us and he said, the world is about to change. We can't even conceive what the cell phone is going to do to the world. And I think he was right. If we go from that point, it was probably 83 or 84. I graduated in 85, so it was before then. If we go from then to now, those 17 years plus these 18 years, and the last 35 years, what the world has changed as a result of cell phones. I tell kids in the school, I was like, I remember when I upped my minutes from 45 minutes a month to 60 minutes a month. To even imagine an iPhone at that point in time, it would have been fantasy. It would have been, in fact, science fiction. Now, what's next? Shortly after I got out of college, internet became the thing. Internet was pushed down to the household level where you could buy a device and hook it up to your telephone line and connect to the internet. And that changed everything. Suddenly the world was literally a few keystrokes away. And you could begin to have conversations and share data. Although very slowly, data in the early stages of the internet was in bits per second, not megabits per second. And I remember when we upgraded to the 56K baud modem, it was like, woohoo! Unbelievable that we jumped to a 56K modem. It wasn't long after that before the cable television companies began to deliver data to your house at unthinkable speeds. And it's just accelerated from there. Wi-Fi, our connectivity to the internet, and now our phones are always, as long as you're in the service area, connected to the internet. My roommate predicted this back when he had that Wall Street Journal article. So now, looking ahead, what is next? Where does it go? Well, I think the next thing that is going to creep up on us, and we're going to look back in a few years and go, wow, how did we ever do without that, is cloud storage. And I'm probably not the first person to say this. There are several versions of it. Microsoft has a version. There's Dropbox, there's Google Drive, iCloud for the Apple users. The cloud, this place, this concept of data being just up there available for you to reach. You can literally take a picture on your phone, let it go to the cloud, walk into your house, sit down at your desk, and it's on your desktop computer that quickly. The day is coming when everything will be in the cloud, and you'll be able to pick up any device, somehow connect yourself to the cloud, to your cloud account, and in doing so, you'll have access to your stuff, your applications, and your things. Apple did this a while back, where your calendar and things could all sync up through the cloud, and you literally didn't have to think about, well, I put this on my calendar, and then when I go to my desktop at home, it's already there. Taking that to the extreme is what's happening next, where our entire data and application presence will exist in the cloud, and our devices will just suck that down as needed. Right now, Google and Apple have this thing going on where files stored in your cloud drive kind of go away. They leave your hard drive and they reside only in the cloud until you need them. The future is going to be that. It's going to be that, only much faster and much more efficient. It's not going to just be, well, I'll have to wait 5 minutes for my movie to download. It's going to be like, I have to wait 5 seconds for a movie to download. This is where it's going. My data is in Dropbox and Google Drive. I take pictures, I go out, I do a photo shoot, I load them up to a folder. My associate photographer has access to it, puts pictures in, takes pictures out, and then we share those folders with our clients who then access those pictures themselves. To bring this to a close, what are the implications? Well, as we've seen a revolution in telecommunications, we've seen a revolution in the way social contacts work, we've seen a revolution in planning and organizing. We're now beginning to see a revolution in how creatives create their content. Walking around with a 4K camera that does 60 frames per second is unthinkable if you go back just 5 or 10 years. The next thing that we're going to see is this presence in the cloud. All right, so what does all of this mean? What does all of this mean? I've talked about the iPhone as a communication and a social media device. I've talked about it as a platform by which creatives can create content. And I've mentioned the cloud and talked about the cloud as a place where data is going to reside. Here's my future prediction. This is my future cast. And if you've got a lot of money and you want to invest in something, you'll probably figure out a way to make money off this idea. So here's the thing. With the evolution, we've gone from floppy disks to hard drives to Google Drive, Dropbox, some stuff stored in the cloud, some stuff locally. The next thing that's going to happen, the next phase, is going to be that our entire data and application presence resides in a cloud, and our various devices, our phones, our laptops, our desktop computers, probably even our cameras, our cars, tap into this cloud presence of data and applications. And those things will pour down to us at rates that are beyond the concept of our minds now, that we will be able to get into our car and access our data application cloud presence, or we'll be able to get into a rent-a-car, sign in and access our data cloud application presence, and we're going to have it all available to us anytime we need it. So that's my prediction. Our data and application presence will move off of the devices into the cloud, and it will stream down on an on-demand basis so fast that we don't even notice that it's not actually residing on our computers. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was inspiring. Hope this was interesting. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button. If you would be so kind, subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment or a question. We'll see you in the next episode. I swear I heard somebody behind me. That's going in the F log.